question as well. Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate that. Okay, item 5, discussion on action items. Commissioners, is there anything you wish to bring to the table this evening? Okay, I've got one thing I mentioned at the last meeting that had a brief report from our NACO meeting that we had in California. It was a County Crossroads Symposium, and that was in Sonoma. At that meeting, the NACO Board of Directors approved 60 nominations to the Board of Directors and the Finance Standing Committee report. We approved the 2025 federal policy priorities. One thing that I think is important, the NACO Midsize Caucus Exploratory Committee. And this will hopefully give some of the counties a little bit better recognition at NACO, because it's be a smaller caucus to recognize some of the struggles and problems and things that other counties are doing similar in size to maybe what a lot of the counties are here in New Mexico. So I think that one is going to be something good. It's just in the beginning stages of that, so we'll keep you updated on that. There was exploratory groups for the new NACO Multi-State Regional Forums, Great Lake Counties Forum, and Southwest Border Counties Forum. And that was just of the business meeting during the Board of Directors meeting. Upcoming NACO conferences for 2025. Legislative conference, that'll be March 1st to the 4th in Washington, D.C. The Western Interstate Region Conference will be May 20th through 23rd in Pennington County, South Dakota. NACO Annual Conference and Exposition, July 11th through the 14th, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And the final one in 2025 will be the NACO Fall Board Meeting, December 4th through the 6th, Weiss County, Texas. And with that said, if there's any questions, we'll do the best to answer them. But if not, that just a brief report for attending that conference. Jonathan, did you have anything that you want to add to that?
Yeah, you covered the business really well, but I just wanted to, this was a different symposium than normal for NACO. The president of NACO this year, he's very get out into the area, check out what we're doing here in Sonoma County, and see some of our positives that we've had throughout the years, some of the things that have happened that were detrimental and we've rebuilt, and with the recent wildfires, several years back in 2017, wildfires pretty much ripped through Sonoma County. It started in the county right above, I think it's Napa, and kind of jumped over the mountain there. But, seeing these wildfires rip through Los Angeles now, it's heartbreaking to see what's going on, but the resiliency of county government, especially in Northern California, it was great to see how they came together and basically within a few years was able to rebuild more homes than were destroyed. So gosh, it was disheartening to see what they went through, but what a comeback they made, and I was hoping for them that they weren't going to go through anything like Los Angeles was going, like they did before. But man, the resiliency of county government, they really showed how awesome everybody came together and worked for the good. We also were at a training up on a mountainside, and the lights started swaying. We were wondering what the heck was going on. It was a 7.0 earthquake about 40 miles to the northwest of where we were at. Luckily, it went back out into the ocean versus in, so that was a little interesting to be a part of. But no, it was a great forum to be a part of, and NACO is such a resource. I highly encourage anybody that's interested in federal things, county stuff. What a resource for us to be a part of.
Thank you. Anything else, commissioners? If not, I know we have Ms. Jaramillo here. Would like to come up and address the commission, make some introductions for us.
Sir, thank you, Chair and fellow commissioners. Thank you for the time. I'd like to introduce our code enforcement officers, and I'm going to have them stand up. I think too often they're behind the scenes, out on the road, behind their computers, doing their due diligence in the county, and too often they're not recognized. I also have a map of the different areas that each one of them has. So I'm going to pass it out. So you guys can see kind of what districts regarding the district you all represent, they have. Now, keeping in mind, this is what they work towards, but they also work as a team and as a group to solve any given concern that somebody has. So the designated code enforcer officer will start it, but they definitely work as a team. So with that, I'd like to make that introduction. We have B. Bell. We have Matt Tapia, Jonathan Villadares. Did I say it correct? Close enough. There you go. And then we have Louis. I just lost your name. Yes, Louis Sanchez. So somewhat of a new crew, sort of. He's been here for a while. Up on the top, we have a temporary vacancy with Mark Cisneros, but we are working to make sure that that area is covered as well. So happy to answer any questions. We've been doing a better job of getting criminal complaints out. The judge is being very responsive and giving us some tips on how to resolve some of those. So I just thought it was important to recognize these folks. So thank you for your time.
Thank you. Appreciate all you guys do for us. I know it's a tough job, but we do truly appreciate your efforts. And just keep up the good work. I see good things happening with your department. Commissioners, anything?
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. Okay. Staff, is there anything you wish to bring up?
Yes, sir. I'd like to just echo, several things come up throughout the week. People call, talk about issues going on in their communities. These guys go out right away, do an investigation. Commissioner Richardson had something going on up in Meadow Lake recently. It was within a day they were able to get themselves as well as some officers up there to go and deal with the situation, and they've already got it through the court system, and it's making its way through. So you guys are doing great. Keep it up. Appreciate all the hard work you guys do for the county. Something I want to bring up now, just because our next meeting will be the day before, but Valencia County Day is at the Roundhouse on February 6th. The time is looking like 6 a.m. to 1 p.m. What's being asked now is we'd like to get a list of elected officials that are going to be there in that day. Obviously, for our own benefit, we can make sure we have a quorum set if you guys are all going to be there. But they're also going to do an introduction on the House floor. And then if you want to make any comments at the press conference, you're able to do that. But we're just asking for any assistance on that day. Go and represent Valencia County. It's looking like it's going to be a really busy day. Village of Wassanas is putting a lot of effort into it. The city of Belen. So, there's a lot of people going to represent our county, and it's always a wonderful day there at the Roundhouse. So if you guys are able to make it, you want to attend, let me know, and I can make sure your names get to that area, and we'll get you introduced.
You know, by end of the week?
Yeah, that's fine. We have a
Give you
little
enough
bit of time, but the next meeting's going to be the day before. I don't want to let everybody know and them not be able to attend. So for the public as well, it's a wonderful day. They have a matanza there right outside the Roundhouse. So wonderful day to go.
Anything else? Okay. We'll go ahead at this time, ahead and move on to our action items. We'll go ahead and start with actually item number 9. And I do believe we have Lena with us, Jonathan?
I'm
Lena, are you
here.
on
Can you
Zoom?
hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
Okay, item number 9, approval of sponsorship letter supporting Valencia County's participation in the USDA NRCS Watershed and Flood Prevention Operation Program. Go ahead, Lena.
Good evening, Chairman, Commissioners. So this was heard at the last commission meeting. The commission did have some questions regarding the sponsorship letter and along with the establishment of the flood authority. I believe Mr. Zamora with the Conservancy is here to address the commission regarding this. and NRCS suggested that we reach out to them regarding your questions and concerns. Mr. Zamora, are you there?
Yeah, go ahead and come on up there. Thank you. Is there anything you wanted to present?
I'm
or
here,
you're-
Lena.
I'm sorry. Commissioner Richardson, if you want to go ahead and ask those questions that you had at the previous meeting.
Okay. Our question last time anyways was it seemed like, a partnership with NRCS on this would be a better place for the new flood control district. And I don't think, being that we're weeks away from having a board seated in that. I think, in my opinion, it would be best to let this go to them, but I don't know what exactly is NRCS asking of us here.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioner Richardson. So just let me give a little brief history of the project. So the district MRGCD got involved in this grant opportunity as a result of many incidences of arroyo breaches of our Highline Canal south of Belen. We had impacts to not only our facilities, but to the interstate and including private properties. So the district applied for this grant. We were awarded a grant to do a study of what we're calling the Belen watershed. This is an area basically between Sausalito Estates and what we call Feeder 3, or just a little bit north of BOCC Post Office, and on the west side of the river up to the escarpment. So with this study, the concern for MRGCD and NRCS is our authorities to work outside of what district calls our benefited area. Essentially, the district has authority within the outer ditches on either side of the river. In this case, the Highline Canal going east towards the river. So outside of the Highline Canal to the west, the area where the arroyos that impact us, we essentially do not have authority outside of that benefited area. So that's the reason we reached out to Valencia County originally for support. We secured that memorandum of understanding as a partner agency on the grant that was approved by NRCS, and this was, I don't know, about a couple of years ago. And with that, what that does is allows a sponsor agency to be eligible for up to $25 million in funding for this project. This first phase is the study. The next phase would be design and construction. So at this point, I think the impetus is to have a Valencia County agency eligible and as a participant in the current project, so they could sign off on the alternatives that we're evaluating at this point and be able to carry the project forward into a grant phase if we're eligible, able to secure any additional funding for construction. And so the NRCS is made this specific request because it was unknown as to when the Flood Control Authority would formally be established, when it would have board members, when it would have staff, things like that. And so that was the intent of this original request. But if it's the intent of the commission to authorize the formation of the Flood Control Authority prior to the expiration of this grant, which is coming up, we just got an extension to September 30th of this year. Then it may be more prudent to turn that over to the Flood Control Authority.
Commissioners?
Mr. Chair,
Please.
and this is probably a question for Mr. Pato. The court has received our nominees is not the word, but candidates for the board members, correct? Do you know when those will be appointed?
Mr. Chairman, Commissioner Richardson, that's correct. They've received the 9 nominees, and the court can appoint at its discretion. So we do expect that they're going to appoint within a reasonable period of time. Yes.
Okay.
And certainly before September 30th, 2025. So I would hope that, within the next month or so, we would see appointments to this board.
And again, I just wanted to clarify that we did have an original project deadline of December 30th, 2024, to December 31st, 2024, and did receive that extension to September 30th, 2025. And that was the reason for the urgency in getting this over to the commission.
Any other questions, Commissioner? Please.
This is for the attorneys too. The whole reason for the flood control, in my opinion, was to the liability, to keep the county out of liability. If we were to do something like this and be partners in it, would the county be drug into any litigation because we're partners in these studies and possibly the money?
Mr. Chairman, Commissioner Bazell, that's very difficult to answer. I'd simply say that because the electorate overwhelmingly approved the creation of the flood control district, and this is certainly a project that's within the scope and function of the flood control district, it would certainly be a better project for the flood control district to undertake than for the county. I don't want to guess and speculate as to whether or not someone's going to be able to bring a claim based on the work or partnership in the project or their partnership in the project. I just simply would say that this is definitely within the purview of the flood control district that the electorate overwhelmingly approved, and I would support the board's decision to let the flood control district take on that responsibility.
Thank you.
Any other questions, Commissioners? No? Eric, anything else?
No.
Okay. So recommendation, please.
Sure.
Please.
I would like to make a motion to not approve it and let the flood control authority, when they take form, make their decision.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion of the second? Be done. Commissioner Richardson, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Bazell, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Berry, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Sparkman, your vote?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Okay. Eric, thank you for being with us this evening. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Eric. I appreciate you attending the meeting.
Okay, item 10, consideration of a memorandum of understanding with Terra Grande Improvement Association for improvements of certain county roads in the Terra Grande subdivision. Ms. Benavides, go ahead.
Good evening, Chairman, Commissioners. Terra Grande has approached the county in doing some road improvements to certain county roadways within Terra Grande. The association will continue to contribute $50,000 in materials to assist with road repairs and drainage issues at Terra Grande. The road department will schedule when available and when in the area. All work will be coordinated with Terra Grande. I stand for any questions and recommend approval.
Questions, Commissioners? Please.
Lena, are these the existing roads that are already preset where they're not going? I know a lot of those roads go through like properties in the Terra Grande.
These are all county maintained roads that we would look at maintaining for them.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions, Commissioners?
Mr. Chair,
Please.
just to clarify, so this is, we've been doing this memorandum of understanding with them for several years now, correct? Pretty much unchanged?
Yes, that is correct.
Any other questions, Commissioners? There be none. Is there a recommendation, please?
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and second for approval. Any discussion on the motion of the second? There be none. Commissioner Richardson, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Bazell, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Berry, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Sparkman, your vote?
Yes.
I vote yes, is approved. Okay, action item 11. Consideration of an agreement with New Mexico Department of Transportation for county maintenance of streetlights on New Mexico Highway 304 from milepost 20. I don't know if it's, 20.27 to milepost 20.51. Ms. Benavides, go ahead.
Good evening again. The New Mexico Department of Transportation is requesting for Valencia County to take on the maintenance of a newly installed street lighting on Highway 304 near the Arcosa manufacturing company that just came in. The Arcosa will be paying for the installation of the lights. So DOT is requesting that we take over maintenance and any billing responsibilities. There are pros and cons to this. It does show good partnership with the NMDOT. However, we're responsible, of course, that becomes a liability. So I'll leave it up to the commission for this. We currently do have some other agreements with them on street lights and traffic lights. And they will install 2 lights at each driveway within the Arcosa facility.
Any questions, Ms. Benavides?
Chair.
Please.
Ms. Benavides, if we take over the maintenance of these, how does that affect like other businesses throughout the county requesting streetlights? Would it show favoritism that we're doing for specific businesses?
No, this isn't for the business. This is through the Department of Transportation. It's on their facilities. It's not within the property of the Arcosa.
And then the second part is, I know like P&M's requesting rate increases for streetlights. Are we going to be responsible for the billing of the lights themselves as well?
That is correct, yes. And that is something I have budgeted because we currently have our own streetlight ordinance for our county roads. So it's something I already have budgeted. It's not something that comes up a whole lot. But like I said, it's totally up to the commission if this is something they want to accept. It does show good partnership, but then again, there's that liability part of it.
And Mr. Chairman, if I might, I believe the way Lena explains correct. This is not legally the county's responsibility. If you believe that it is something that will benefit the citizens and you weigh that against the liability, when a light goes out and somebody gets in a car wreck and they said, well, the light should have been maintained. I mean, those are additional liabilities that can always happen. And again, you're taking on responsibility that you will be accepting responsibility for something that is not legally your responsibility. So you have to weigh that, whether you believe it benefits the citizens enough to do that and step outside of what would, I hate to say it, when a road issue normally be your lane.
Commissioners, any other questions?
Mr. Chairman?
Please.
Ms. Benavides, how many lights are there?
There'll be 2 lights installed on each driveway and there's 3 driveways. So it'll be a total of 6.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else, Commissioners?
Chair.
Please.
Ms. Benavides, did I hear you say that we already are in agreements like this in other places with NMDOT?
Yes,
Correct.
that is correct. Some examples are 47, 263, Ladera, Meadow Lake. And those are the traffic signals along with the streetlights along those areas.
Has any of that been a specific problem that we know of? And we had anything specific with that?
Mr. Chairman, if I might, Commissioner Richardson, Lena, did we receive a tort claims notice within the last several months regarding the maintenance of lights? I think it was on Highway 47.
Yes, I was just going to bring that up. That's the first one I've received and it's been quite a while, but yes, we have received 1 tort claim. And it's been recent.
Mr. Chair, speaking from personal, we do a lot of lights maintenances for a lot of the utilities. And normally they give 48 hours notice. And then if it's not fixed or reported what's wrong with it, then asking for more time to fix it. The municipality or city or county, it opens them up to a lot of liability. So, thought.
Leah, any comment on that?
I'm sorry, Commissioner, could you repeat that?
So like my company, we actually do a lot of streetlight maintenance for a lot of utilities. And normally it's 48 hours, like if a person turns in something to P&M, they have 48 hours to go out there and evaluate what's wrong. Is it just a bulb? If it's something major, then the time is extended, but normally it's 48 hours to respond to a light being out in like a municipality.
Yeah, I usually, if it's a major intersection, I call Bixby and we do an emergency and they usually come out right away within 24 hours.
Any other questions?
Chair?
Please.
If we don't do this, will NMDOT maintain these lights?
Yes, it is in their facility. So yeah, they would have to maintain them.
Anything else, Commissioners? Is there a recommendation, please?
Mr. Chairman?
Please.
Make a motion to approve?
Second.
We have a motion and second for approval. Any discussion on the motion of the second? There be none. Commissioner Richardson, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Bazal, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Berry, your vote? Commissioner Sparkman, your vote?
Yes.
And I vote yes, it is approved.
Thank you, Chairman, Commissioners.
Okay, that's it for you, Lena. Hope you feel better.
Thank you.
Okay. Item 6, approval of recognition and recording of accounts payable and payroll disbursements. Ms. Houston Green, please.
Good evening, Mr. Chair, Commissioners.
Good evening.
I'll be short and sweet this evening, hopefully. I have 1 accounts payable and 2 payroll authorizations for your review. For the period of December 1st through 31st, we had a total of $4,201,298.15 in accounts payable. And I'd just like to mention that there were 2 large amounts that went out to construction and improvements that we have going on right now through grants. So they did come out of grant money. They weren't something that came out of the general fund. A little over $1 million in the Del Rio Center, Senior Center, and a little under $1 million in the El Cerro Mission improvements. I recommend approval of the operating expenses for December, and I stand for questions.
Any questions? Here's our Zen. You want to do the payroll disbursements right away?
I will.
Okay.
Thank
that'll be
you.
fine.
We had 2 different payroll disbursements during the month of December, and the first set of wages were paid on December 13th. They totaled $1,049,307.40. The second one was processed on December 27th in the amount of $923,817.71. The grand total for both combined was $1,973,125.11. I'd also like to make a note that the first payout was quite a bit higher than the norm for us, and it had to do with the retention payments for the sheriff's office and all of the taxes and other deductions that are taken with them. I recommend approval of them, and I stand for questions.
Any questions on the screen? Here's our Zen. Is there a recommendation, please?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve both as presented.
Second.
Have a motion and a second for approval. Any discussion on the motion of the second? There be none. Commissioner Richardson, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Bazil, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Berry, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Sparkman, your vote?
Yes.
I vote yes, they stand approved. Okay, item 7, approval of the resolution, state bars. Ms. Houston Green.
In the packets you received today, we have state bar adjustment requests for your consideration, and due to the fact that they affect cash, they have to be approved by both yourselves and DFA. So I wanted to bring that to you of note. The only thing that's a little bit odd in this one is there's quite a large amount of temporary loans being requested to come out of the general fund for several different grant funded areas that we have on a reimbursable basis. And reimbursements have been submitted but have not yet been received. So we want to make sure we close out the quarter in a positive. We have already proactively scheduled the transfers to put them back into the general fund as soon as the reimbursements clear. The amount is close to $2 million for your information. I recommend approval of them, and I stand for questions.
Any questions?
Mr. Chair,
Please.
all the grants have been fulfilled as far as requirements?
Yes. Yes, we've, like I said, submitted the reimbursements and everything within it has been fulfilled. We're just waiting on the money to come back. Takes a little bit of time.
Any other questions? If not, is there a recommendation, please?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve.
We have a motion and a second for approval. Any discussion on the motion of the second? There be none. Commissioner Richardson, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Bazal, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Berry, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Sparkman, your vote?
Yes.
I vote yes, it's approved.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, this resolution is 2025-11. -11.
Okay, item number 8, delegation of authority to county manager to accept the FY25 YCC commission grant. You got Mr. Silva with us this evening.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. Again, we are requesting consideration to delegate authority to Manager Aragon to digitally accept the FY25 YCC grant. This agreement is made by and between the State of New Mexico Youth Conservation Corps Commission and the Valencia County Fire Department to provide youth the opportunity for personnel and professional growth through multiple job and life skills training while conducting beautification and fire mitigation projects throughout Valencia County, utilizing the updated Community Wildfire Protection Plan. The county has received $106,045.82 with a mandatory 20% match amount that must be met and operates on a reimbursement basis. The match will be made in the form of wages paid to Valencia County Fire Department Captain Rob Barr. Payments shall be made upon acceptance of detailed certified reimbursement invoices with supporting documentation for services performed, goods obtained, and expenses incurred. The grant term is from the date of this agreement being fully executed through June 30th, 2025. With that said, we respectfully request consideration of this item, and we stand for any questions.
Any questions, commissioners? Appears there's none. Is there a recommendation, please?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve.
Second. We have a motion and second for approval. Any discussion on the motion or the second? There be none. Commissioner Richardson, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Bazell, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Barry, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Sparkman, your vote?
Yes.
And I vote yes, is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you guys very much. All right. Item number 12, approval of amended findings of facts, conclusions, law, and decision for solar field overlay zone 2022-059 and 060. Item 13 is the same for the zone 20, I'm sorry, for the, I guess it's overlay zone 2022-061. Mr. Baca?
Good evening, Chairman Commissioners. So before you this evening is the request to approve the amended findings of facts, conclusions of law, and decisions for Solar Field Overlay Zone 2022-059 and 060, as well as 2022-061. The original documents were approved on September 18th of 2024. What we're doing with the amended documents is we are correcting a couple of clerical errors that were made in creating those documents. Going from something that stated 350 and it was supposed to say 35. We've got a couple minor clerical errors that we are correcting. The reason these are being brought to our attention is the state did start selecting for the community solar program. There were 3 that were selected in our county. These were 2 of those. So they have their staff going through a lot of their documents and making sure everything looks right on their end. They brought this to our attention. So I've been working with the attorneys to get everything cleared up. And I do stand for any questions.
Any questions of Mr. Baca?
Mr. Chair,
Please.
it's not so much on these two. On all the, I know they selected 3 overlays. The ones that weren't selected, are they going to start reverting back to the original zoning?
So at this point, they did extend the program. So there are a few that were selected for the overlay and they've sent in for an extension request. They're hoping to get selected during the second round of processing from the state. I believe that's going to be happening early in the summer, if not spring. So there are a few that did request an extension. At this point, there was a 2-year period to commence development for these solar field overlays. anything I think that didn't request an extension at this point has already hit their deadline for that 2-year period. So anything else will revert back to the original zoning. And then if they do want to bring that up in front of us again in order to get back on for round 2 for the selection, they will have to come through for a solar field overlay once again.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Any other questions? There be none, is there a recommendation for item 12 and 13, please?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve item 12 and 13 for approval.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion of the second? There be none. Commissioner Richardson, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Bazell, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Berry, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Sparkman, your vote?
Yes.
Vote yes, they are approved.
Thank you.
I have to jump in if I needed to.
Okay, item 14, consideration of a resolution approving the commitment of an allocation of county funding for a qualifying affordable federal low-income housing tax credit, multifamily housing development for seniors. We have Mr. Labor. This is
Okay, good evening, Chair and Commissioners. Thanks for having me back. There are not so many updates, so this will be basically a pretty brief presentation, but to reiterate, the project we're proposing is a low-income housing project for seniors. It's 57 units in the village of Los Lunas near the transportation center. Since we spoke last, the village mayor and council approved a zone change, and I'll be seeking a similar incentive package from them tomorrow night at their meeting. But the grant is sized based off the gross receipts tax that we've paid by the project to the county over the course of construction. And then we would ask for the grant to be paid to us at construction completion. And that timeline looks like at the soonest, January 2027. That's an optimistic kind of timeline, probably at the latest, spring of 2028. So that would be the completion of construction. And the program that we're using to develop the project is the New Mexico Mortgage Finance Authority's Low-Income Housing Tax Credit Program. So the project is just a proposal right now. We have to compete in a competitive process the MFA runs. And then if we're fortunate enough to be awarded, then we'll have to go through multiple reviews with the MFA and their construction inspections and compliance inspections take place. The affordability period, it's a perpetual commitment. So there will be a land use restriction agreement that gets recorded with the land. And so the units will be forever have this affordability requirement. And I think happy to answer any other questions. Oh, I think one of the questions that came up last time was, could the grant amount be tied to GRT specifically, but not like a dollar amount? And so we went to the MFA and submitted a question in their public question and answer process, and they said that they would. Sorry, I'm bouncing around a little bit, but the grant is kind of recognized by MFA as a local match, and then that makes the project much more likely to get awarded the state funding. So MFA kind of decrees the rules for how they assess these grants, and they said that a grant would have to have a no less than dollar amount. So rather than trying to edit the original resolution, we just maintain that $200,000 request. Which is based on the county portion of GRT from a $14.5 million construction contract. And that is the current status of the project, but happy to answer questions.
Commissioners, any questions of Mr. Lieber?
Mr. Chair, I don't, this may not be, I'm not sure if I've actually got a question in here, and it might be for Finance Department. We are, came in the middle of our fiscal year. There's the veterans property tax exemption that came up. I don't know that we know what that is going to cost. And it wasn't budgeted. I'm afraid we may not have this in our budget.
Mr. Chair, Commissioner Richardson, yes, we don't have a figure for the veterans. What is it?
Exemption, right?
Yeah, savings as of now, and the assessor's office, they're waiting for further clarification on the bill in order to come up with a figure. Yes, it is going to affect our local property tax that we bring in. As far as GRT, that's based on the sales of goods and services in our in the community, in the village of Los Lunas and in Valencia County. GRT are based on the sales of goods and services. So that would be the tax credit used as a local match that this gentleman is talking about. My only question would be if the construction, there was a talk about what was the amount again? I'm sorry. 200,000. If the construction goes above that, are we liable for more than that for the full gross receipts, or can we put a cap at the 200,000? But yes, Mr. Richardson, it will affect us.
You don't have any idea what that property tax exemption is going to cost?
We
us?
have no idea. That would have to come from the assessor's office. And we have no idea at this point what it's going to cost. None.
Mr. Chair?
Hang on, he's
In the case that, and we may be, I guess, also looking at, some more growth in the county and seeing increased GRT. I don't know if we have any estimate of that. But if as we fall short on the property tax side, we'll need to use some growth in GRT to make up for that, correct? Or I guess.
Mr. Chairman,
cash
Commissioner
reserves.
Richardson, yes. That's the only other source of income that we could use to make up for the shortage we will see in the property tax collections.
Mr. Mazzell?
To kind of answer, I've been talking to the deputy assessor, and he said roughly we've got about 4,000 veterans right now. And this is just an estimate. He's saying that from the 4,000 that the veterans get right now, it's going to go up to 10,000 with what the voters registered in, and it would be somewhere around 600,000, 640, somewhere around that. It's it's an estimate, but he's over $500,000.
Questions? Anybody else? Please.
So in anticipation of this meeting, we're fully aware of, where Mr. Labor's at. He's got to have this application in by the end of the week, I believe. We've been trying our tails off to try and figure out, this is our first instance where we're being asked about an incentive reimbursement, right? So we reached out to the governor's appointment to affordable housing, Daniel Werwath. We were able to get a meeting with him early this week. And he said he's familiar with the process. He's familiar with Spire in particular. And he kind of went through, what we can expect now and in the future going through this. He did say, this is ultimately an application program. It really looks good on their application for partners to be supportive. And what the few entities that he's worked with in the past have done to come up with this fund, it's going to be over a several year period. Many of the entities create a fund to potentially offer this in the future, right? If they're awarded the program or awarded the build, the county or the entity that awarded offered the incentive has built up potentially that money to give at that later date. Like you said, we're running into some issues with the veterans exemption. There could be other issues in the future that we're just not aware of at this time. So it is a big ask, especially in such a, an early, we've only accepted the affordable ordinance last April. So it's a difficult situation to be in, just not knowing where we're going to be in the future, and being so new in our process. But Daniel Warwath did give us some references to kind of look at. I don't know if Loretta or Adrian would like to comment on those, but he did say they're probably going to start happening more often as affordable housing is going to be something that's going to just increase in the future.
Thank you. Mr. Hewitt, did you have anything you want to share?
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, should you all decide to pursue this further and approve this request, what we would do is, as the contractor is reporting GRT to New Mexico Tax and Rev, we will require them to give us that amount on a monthly basis. And we would pull out the share that is affected, put it in a separate fund. That way, when it is due, we would have that money available.
Well, on that, we have to be really careful because I know a lot of contractors, unless they're going to be here in Valencia County, if they're an Albuquerque contractor, sometimes they don't report. They even though the work was completed here, they sit there and say they report it as an Albuquerque and they get our gross receipts.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioner Bazell, point well taken, and you are correct. Construction industries are a little different. They report to their brick and mortar, to where their office is, not to the location that they're doing the work on. Point well taken.
So we might be putting ourselves in a bind where we wouldn't be getting that money in the first place.
Right.
That would one thing I'd be afraid of. But I have another question. So with what the manager said, like the internet tax and the marijuana tax, that stuff is going strictly into the general fund. We never allocated saying that could be specifically for a project. Is that something that you're talking to where we could say any gross receipts we're getting from marijuana sales, we could do it for low-income housing?
I think the idea was, Valencia County recognizes there's an affordable housing problem or issue, in the future and even now. And so I guess what it would be is we're gonna start a fund that once these companies like Spire come to us in the future for either a county project or another joint project and ask this incentive, we've actually created a fund to where we can say, yes, we actually do have the money budgeted. And we can fulfill that request if you are accepted as you were awarded the project. So I believe we could use those taxes that you're talking about to create that fund. We just haven't done it yet.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, the sale of CBD or marijuana, that is required to be kept separate. We do have a separate fund for that sale, for the taxes we receive for that sale. We haven't touched it, we haven't used it, but there is a fund. It's very minimal. The county itself doesn't get a lot of money from this. Of course, the villages do. The county doesn't. And Jonathan is correct. Should you decide to go this route and create an account, what we could do on an annual basis is you determine how much you want to put each year into this fund. It grows, and as applications such as this come up, you have money already available to work with these companies. That's one option that was given to us or explained to us.
Were you going to say something, John? No, okay. Commissioner?
So does that bring in any more difficulty in audits?
Mr. Chairman, Commissioner Bazell, no, it does not. It's still part of a regular audit, which, you know, is just another fund that we would add to, for our auditors to audit. It would come out of the general fund. You know, money on a regular basis or once a year would come out of the general fund. So it's part of the general fund audit as well.
And then is it something that we could, how do you say, get with the treasurer and yourself and put it into like a high yield money market account or something to that effect to where we can grow it? Because it's not going to be used like all the time.
Mhm.
So is it, you know, I know this like coming up now, but is it something that we could not make money on, but put it in something that we could grow
The
rather
fund
quickly
itself.
than a normal account where when these come up, we can.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, Commissioner Bazell, yes, it is. Right now, the way all our funds work is most of them going to what's called pooled cash. So we only have one major account for most of our funds within the village. We're allowed to earn interest. In fact, we currently earn interest. That's that big interest amount that we have, that big savings that we have. It's from general fund money, which includes the road fund, the adult detention. It would include this. They're all part of that pooled cash is what we call it. So yes, we could earn interest. We could separate that interest for that fund if that's all what you would like to see done. So it is possible.
Sure.
Any other questions?
Mr.
Please.
Chair, just one more, maybe to bring up, you know, lately, what was it, last year, you know, our health insurance premiums, we got dinged for, I don't know, it was a big number. I don't remember what that was. It was unexpected. And we also have currently a big shortfall on our hospital project that we don't have funded yet, that if that doesn't get funded, that'd eat up all the cash we have. Just thought I'd make sure everybody remembers all of those things.
Oh, yeah, I'm glad you brought all of that up, with both of you guys, all of you guys. Yeah, I totally agree with you. And I think that considering that we did pass that ordinance, I think probably the opportune time to have this discussion would be to allow staff to start coming up with setting up that fund, which I know doesn't take a whole lot of effort, but maybe as we approach our budget year, to be able to identify what may be available, what they feel comfortable, to be able to start seeding that fund with, and then we can work on it through our budget process as to how we want to build it, what we want to contribute, how we want to move it, how we want to move forward with it. But I think at this point, we just don't have the fund in place, or do we have the information, all the information we need to be able to add money to it or initiate the fund. Please go ahead.
And Mr. Chair, like I said, you know, this is new to us. It's a new avenue. Mr. Warwath was a valuable asset to the conversation. He left it open-ended so we can continue to reach out to him. Like I said, he sent us several references. He's been working on this particular type of work for most of his career. And, you know, he said he'd be more than happy to assist us in the future on, you know, working through these projects. But yeah, like you all said, there's just increases everywhere. Our insurances to the counties are increasing substantially, and it's hard to come up with this just before a budget. So yeah, I totally get you, and I'm sympathetic towards your timeline and stuff like that. But it's just a new avenue for us to go down, and it's our decision to make.
Sure, please go ahead.
Is the $200,000 like a drop minimum? I mean, if we sat there and said we could give like 25,000.
Thanks for the question. It's not a drop dead amount at all. Basically, what the MFA says is you get 1 point on your application for every 1% of total development costs that a local jurisdiction contributes. So this doesn't quite get us to a point, but with other sources that we'll cobble together, it helps the application. And they're usually like, they go to a tie break, things like this. So 25,000 is, I would say, definitely signals like local support. I don't know if it makes the application all the more competitive, at the end of the day, but I certainly wouldn't. I think it's still valuable in the sense of it would signal that there's interest in the project from the local jurisdiction. And then I'll just say this too. So the low-income housing tax credit program, or LIHTC, has been around since 1986. It was started by President Reagan, and it's grown since that time and evolved, but it's codified in the tax structure. So it's a long-term program, and the funding for it's actually been reduced in the past couple years. But all this is to say, it's a long-standing program, and typically in New Mexico, there's about 5 projects that get awarded statewide per year. And so the last time that one of these came around and actually got funded in Valencia County was in 2020, but that was a rehab project. So they went into a existing apartment, and they usually take care of the mechanicals and replace a lot of those and do some new finishes. But it's a lot of these projects, like if they award 5 per year, maybe Albuquerque gets 2 or 3, and Santa Fe and Las Cruces each get 1, and there may be like a rural project outside of the big urban centers. So it's pretty rare, to, I think, get a proposal. And I don't imagine you'll be inundated in the coming years with these kind of proposals, is kind of my honest assessment.
Any other questions, commissioners?
Mr. Chair,
Please.
and Ryan, you're asking for the same 200,000 from the village for this project as well?
The proposal's there for 550,000, but it's kind of a similar structure. I appreciated the commissioner's question. I tried to structure these in a way that would be as painless as possible and just kind of tie them to amounts that were going to be familiar. So the village amount is based on GRT plus impact fees plus water right payment. So we'll pay all that, to the village, albeit the GRT obviously passes through the state before it works its way into the village's general fund. But that amount of money will be paid by the project to the village over the course of construction or pre-development, and then, at construction completion, or, within 3 months or something like this, they'll reimburse the project. And so that's how we arrived at that number, was basically to make it a neutral, net zero commitment by the village, I suppose.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions, commissioners? The recommendation, please.
Chair.
Please.
I would like to make a motion that we give them the 25,000, not the 200, to show support for, we passed an ordinance, and I don't believe we could do the 200,000 and stay safe, but I would like to show something that the county does support our older citizens and give them 25,000.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion of the second? There be none. Commissioner Richardson, you vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Bazali, you vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Berry, you vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Sparkman, you vote?
Yes.
And I vote yes. We'll commit that, and hopefully we'll be in a little bit better position next time this comes before us.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, this resolution is 2025-12.
Well, we'll get that resolution amended as well.
Okay. Do we need to get this amended first before we sign?
You can sign it, we'll have it amended.
Just the signature page, it will be fine.
No, the first page is what we're gonna change it to 25,000.
Right, but the signature page is fine, or
Yes.
we don't need to re-sign another resolution? Okay, we're at the point in our agenda calls for an executive session. Mr. Nance, would you please announce that?
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, the items listed on executive session are under personnel, the county manager, and that's the only item that's listed for discussion this evening.
12.
Is there a motion to that effect, please?
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion of the second? Being Commissioner Richardson, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Bazell, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Berry, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Sparkman, your vote?
Yes.
I vote yes. We will report out shortly. Thank you.
Such an incredible painting. I love that. Yeah. One thing that seemed right. That is a little match. Did you see the railroad there? I'm getting Lynn to donate one. Yeah. Oh, that's basically. Do you remember Weston has been one picture of each place? It's weird. It's weird. Who said it was our local grocery store? You know, because like whenever I was a kid, like Home Depot didn't exist. Like that was all like just desert. That now it's completely developed.
Updated resolution with the first fire.
Okay.
So you guys can re-sign that one.
Which places you have Sonic? Yeah. And Little Anita's. No, not in my days. Really? We have more bars than Canada than anything else. I'm sincere. I miss that Little Anita's restaurant. I used to love that place. Thank you very much.
You guys ready to get started? Hi.
Yes, sir.
You guys ready to get started?
Yes, sir.
Roby, are we live?
Yes, we are.
Thank you.
Okay, I need a motion at this point to reconvene in regular session, please.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion of the second? Be done. Commissioner Richardson, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Bazell, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Berry, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Sparkman, your vote?
Yes.
I vote yes. Mr. Nance, would you please?
Certainly. Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, the items discussed in executive session were limited to those in the motion for closure, specifically county manager under 10-15-1H2, and no final action was taken.
Motion to that effect, please.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion on the motion of the second? There be none. Commissioner Richardson, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Bazell, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Berry, your vote? Commissioner Sparkman, your vote?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Okay. All righty, got a couple upcoming meetings to announce. February 5th, 2025, we will have a public hearing business meeting, 5 o'clock here in the chambers, also via Facebook Live. February 19th, 2025, public hearing business meeting, 5 o'clock PM here in the chambers, and that's also via Facebook Live. Are there any closing comments from fellow commissioners, please?
Mr. Chair, I failed to mention at the beginning of the meeting that as a reminder to everybody that the New Mexico County's legislative conference is next week. Many folks from the county will be attending that. We will have coverage in all offices, so obviously they'll be open, but just wanted to make everybody aware that there will be some folks at that conference, and I believe it's Tuesday through Thursday. So.
Very good. Thank you. Any other closing comments? There be none. We are adjourned. Thank you, guys.